talking so much about Reform UK today. Not that we're talking about them, everybody else is talking about them, and we're reflecting that. Zia Yusuf, we say good morning to you as he joins us live. Very, very good to see you, Zia. Zia, on your X account today, you're saying a number of things, but you're saying that the authorities are slashing or have slashed Nigel Farage's security detail by 3/4, basically. I mean, can you stand by that?
Of course. That's exactly what has happened. And I think what we've seen now over the last 48 hours is a Prime Minister circling the drain who is lashing out in desperation. We're seeing things that I've not seen in my lifetime in politics. I mean, it's quite extraordinary. You know, he is literally the most unpopular Prime Minister in history, according to a poll this week. The majority of his own members want him to be replaced. So how has he responded? He's responded by embarking on the most unprecedented, coordinated campaign of vilification and demonization of the man whom he knows he cannot beat at the ballot box, Nigel Farage. And frankly, he has embarked on a campaign to incite violence against him. It's not just Keir Starmer who's used that word racist. It's not just one errant comment from Diane Abbott last night saying that she's quote all for people giving Nigel Farage a good kicking. You could kind of look past that. I wouldn't be making this point if it was just that. It was 11 cabinet ministers on pretty much the same day who called him racist. The deputy prime minister of this country said that he flirted with the Hitler Youth, i.e. Nazism. We had the Home Secretary said that he was worse than racist, and the Prime Minister himself in his speech used the word battle.
What you're saying is that then on top of all that, they don't see him as any sort of security risk. They're cutting his security detail by 3/4, so that really emphasises how dangerous that may be.
I think that's important context. And look, I thought long and hard. Look, no one's taken more abuse in our lifetimes, whether you agree with Nigel or not. I think it's an objective fact that no one has taken more abuse in the political realm in this country than Nigel for decades now, right? He has just taken it and he's basically smiled through it. But I felt like I had to share this information today because for the authorities to reduce his security by 75% a couple of weeks ago. And of course, tragically, a couple of weeks ago, Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the most high-profile political assassination in recent memory. I did an interview earlier today where the interviewers had put it to me, it's an American thing. It's not an American thing. We've had MPs in this country tragically, brutally murdered, and I see the threats against Nigel. I've seen people try to attack him. This is a prime minister who's not some freewheeling orator. Right? This is someone who chooses his words very carefully. Someone chooses his words for him. He knows exactly what he's doing.
I agree with you. Somebody chooses words for him and he knows exactly what he's doing, which makes his comment about the Farage boats, I think, quite frightening.
Well, I mean, look, we're at the stage now, as I said, he's so far behind in the polls. He's now speaking just to the left of his own membership, which is and MPs, which is extremely left. These are the ultimate student politicians. But I want to be clear, look, politics is a rough and tumble game. I get that. I've taken abuse being in frontline politics. No one has taken more abuse than Nigel. If you want to debate our policies, let's have the debate about our policy. Of course, not everyone's going to like our policies. We think they're in the interest of British people and stand by them. Okay. But the coordinated campaign within a 48 hours, pretty much all on the same day, against Nigel, using Hitler, bringing Hitler into this, calling him a Nazi sympathiser, fascist, racist, enemy, calling on his supporters to, quote, go into battle against an enemy. This is something I have not seen, and people watching this programme can make their own conclusions. When was the last time you saw such a coordinated campaign? And that coming a matter of weeks after his security detail was decimated by the authorities. Now, I want to be clear, though. I do want to be clear for people watching this who support Nigel, or even if you don't support Nigel, but you believe in sensible democracy, right-thinking people. Thankfully, donors have stepped in. Have stepped in, and Nigel has, we've shored up his security, so Nigel is well protected and is safe. But that, along with the fact that Charlie Kirk, and I want to be really clear about that, because I know a lot of people watching this programme will be very worried. And look, Nigel's a very close friend, someone I've worked with every single day now for a sustained period of time. I have seen personally the threats against him. Just this morning, I was in the car here. David Ball has just put a screenshot out of someone on X saying that a sniper rifle could stop Nigel. I've seen so many social media posts, TikTok and X, calling for the explicit assassination of my friend and colleague Nigel. So the Prime Minister doing this with his cabinet is unprecedented in this country. And I want to be clear too, if something were to happen to Nigel, heaven forbid, God forbid, we will hold the Prime Minister responsible for that.
Well, please God, nothing like that would ever happen. Look, I know you're not happy with the language, I know you're not happy with the rhetoric that you've seen at the Labour Party conference, but you must be, Reform UK must be absolutely delighted that Sir Keir Starmer made a very clear message and gave a very clear message yesterday that there is a choice now between Labour and Reform UK. He effectively anointed you, didn't he, as the main opposition?
Yeah, look, I understand that point, but I think that's just abundantly clear. It's not like they've led on that point. They've been dragged there. I mean, we're so far ahead in most polls. Not that we take anything for granted. Sadly, the general election is still some years away in all likelihood. We take nothing for granted. We're going to continue to make our case to the British people, and we'll outwork everyone else in politics to try to get Nigel into number 10 Downing Street. But I will say this again, that what we have seen in this coordinated fashion over a very short period of time, again, this is not one errant comment, right? This is not just one person or two people making an inflammatory comment like that. It is 11 cabinet ministers, the Home Secretary, the Deputy Prime Minister, equating Nigel with the Hitler Youth. This is unprecedented in British politics, and coming after Nigel's security detail has been decimated in that way by the authorities in the aftermath of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And again, I want to reiterate, the tragic murder of British MPs in cold blood not that long ago. There's nothing about this that's remotely acceptable. And I'll reiterate, this is not, Starmer knows exactly what he's doing.
But Zia, could I ask you, was there a reason given for cutting the security detail by 3/4? I mean, you're the man, government efficiencies right on your radar, that's what you talk about. Does anybody come and say, well, we're cost cutting on this situation, or give you a reason or explanation, or give Nigel?
You need to, I genuinely think you need to ask the government that. I know the government don't like coming on these programmes because they're afraid of scrutiny, but I will say this.
We have asked them, though, just, we have reached out and we have tried to get some detail on that. Just finally, before we let you go, can I ask what your thoughts are on the flag waving that we've seen at Labour Party conference? They've been everywhere, haven't they, the Union Jacks? I mean, does that please you? Do you believe that? Do you believe the Prime Minister when he sits down with our political editor, Christopher Hope, and says the left have always been patriotic?
Well, this is the same left. Senior Labour Party politicians accused people who were waving the St George's flag or the Union flag of being far right. In fact, when the Lib Dems, they were the ones who did this first, if you remember, they all, in that cringe fest, started waving their Union flags. And I tweeted out, I didn't know the Lib Dems were far right now. And so, you've just got this crazy situation where, look, Starmer doesn't know what he stands for. That's why he's circling the drain. He doesn't know what he stands for. He has no principles. I will say this too. I will make this point if we've got time. When Nigel was asked a few months ago about Keir Starmer, about the man, he said, listen, I think he's an awful Prime Minister. I think that his policies are awful and we will fight his policies. But I actually think fundamentally as a human being, he's a decent man. That's who Nigel is, and that's on the record. And so for Keir Starmer to go into this gutter politics, and as you said, drag his cabinet into that gutter, sorry, I think as Chris Hope just said, drag his cabinet into that gutter is disgusting.
Zia, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for your interview this morning. Appreciate it. Thank you. Zia Yusuf from Reform UK.